Okay, welcome to all of you lucky motherfuckers that are watching the episode of Cash Collectors with one of our main boy, Jake Devereux. He's one of my longest lasting students in tenure and one of the first people that ever joined my program, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So Jakey, introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, my name's Jake. I've been working with Jack now for about 3 months, 4 months, I think, since July.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been an up and down journey, but I've loved every single minute of it, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't have it any other way in terms of how it's gone. It's what has made my journey unique and what I've loved about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sick. Yeah. Give some background based on like your story and where you came from and like
So it's quite weird actually. Like I was having this conversation with Henry earlier.
Yeah.
How one decision has led me to where I am now. 4 months ago, 4 months ago, I was working in a gym local to me. Did that for like 2.5 years, I think. Yeah, long ass time, bro.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the people I worked with, but just didn't enjoy the job at all. And yeah, stumbled across your content. Did a high ticket course, if you want to call it that. Before I was paid £80 a week. Did that for a couple of months and stumbled across your content. It was just perfect timing, mate. Really. I was just looking for something new, needed to know that I needed to get to the next level, was just stuck in my environment. Watched one of your Instagram videos. I thought I was speaking to you at the time, understand obviously that was Mason. And yeah, it just all aligned, mate, really. And I'm a big believer in that, like I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason and fate.
Sure.
And it's led me to being here now.
I agree, bro. And I feel like that's the same for everybody here within Cash Collectors and for myself as well. Like everything just happens at the right fucking time.
Yeah.
You like everything just always aligns, but you only realise that it aligns when you fucking have already been through a trench and you look back, you think, fuck, I needed that at the right time at the right place. And when you look at the fact that you were in the job working, what gym was it, like a pure gym or?
Yeah, just as everyone acted, just like a bog standard like public gym.
Proper like UK setting.
Yeah.
It smells like rhino sweat sort of thing. Yeah. Bro, I've been there. What then made you realise that you needed to step into like and just commit more? Not even just financially, but just from a internal perspective. Like, what made you come to the conclusion that you needed to commit more?
It was honestly, mate. Like, I'm not just saying this because we're here now, but it was watching your page on Instagram. Like, it was a lot of like videos about being stuck in your situation, actually wanting to make a change, not just saying it. Do you know what I mean? And like, at the time, like I remember being like, fuck, like this guy, I felt like personally attacked, but in a good way. Like it got something internal with me where it was like, fuck, like I do need to do something. Because I've just become so comfortable just being in this cycle of working, getting paid, doing the same shit every day. So yeah, that for me was like I have to make a change now.
Fuck yeah, definitely. So what? Because obviously we had like a couple of calls. The first one was like, we didn't really like take the first step like properly anyway. But then the second time you actually came back, I think it was like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What made you decide to want to actually come back?
It's quite funny actually, our first call. I gave you some logistical bullshit. Like basically the reason that I gave was that I had to pay off debt on my credit card before coming on board, which was true, like I did. But I could have still paid it with what I had on the credit card.
Sure.
So I was just using that as like a scapegoat, really. But yeah, bro, like for the next 2 weeks, I was just playing the conversation in my head like over and over and over, and be like this guy's like I need to listen to this guy. I can't just come away from the conversation and not actually do anything. And like we've had conversations about it, right? Like I come on the second call and just paid within I think 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Which was probably something that you're probably not used to, but like I just knew that I had to do it. So for me, like it wasn't a hard choice at that point.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when you did that, I was like, damn, okay, like he's serious about it, you know. Yeah. And since that moment that you actually just fucking fully committed, what have you seen like the biggest personal changes actually been? Not even just in terms of money, but like in terms of you actually developing as an individual.
Like for me, I think, and I don't know whether you agree, like I've gone on like a big journey in terms of development, like within myself.
Definitely.
Like I had a lot of fears, beliefs when I first come on board, and we've had conversations about this, bro, in like our one-to-ones that we had, like fear of judgment, how people like viewed me, like stuff even as simple as coming on the group calls and like sounding stupid, even though obviously that's gonna happen when you first start.
Absolutely.
And yeah, like in terms of that, I'm just a lot different now. The way that I think, the way that I act as well, because thinking is differently is good, but are you taking the actions based on those thoughts as well, which I think is very important. And that's something that I didn't quite understand to begin with. So that's what's changed a lot, just how I think and view things now in terms of what I'm doing on like a daily basis.
So when you're thinking bigger and you're thinking into like something like a new goal that you set, like let's say, I don't know, 10k a month, and you want to hit that, then you understand that there's bigger actions required which are inevitably scary. How is it that you get over those fears, like initially, to make sure that you don't like keep cycling? Because I used to do that all the time, right? And I completely agree with where you're at.
For me, I understood what position I was in when I used to allow the fear to be the roadblock that it was, and how it kept me stuck, and what thoughts and feelings I had around that. And do you allow the old way of thinking to keep you stuck like it was, or do you have to adopt a new way of thinking to get a different? And that for me is the biggest thing for me. It's like I understood how I used to think didn't serve me, so like it just doesn't make sense to take the actions of that version that didn't get the result that you wanted from. So
because for you, from a financial perspective, like what's been since we joined forces, when was it in July?
I think it was late July. Yeah.
How much money have you made in total since like the end of July?
So since the end of July, to be honest with you, like we've been working together 3-4 months.
Yeah.
But I've actually been closing for a couple of.
Yeah.
So far, I've made just shy of 40k cash collectors, about 4k USD.
4k USD.
Yeah.
And obviously you had like a lot of lead flow issues and stuff as well. If you had to work it out roughly, how many calls do you feel you take?
On average, I took about 1 a day in my last role, and this role taking about 15. So we're looking at like 45 calls roughly. 50.
Calls.
Yeah.
So like 40 hours of work.
Yeah.
To get paid 4k.
Yeah.
It's like it's what you used to work in a week, most likely.
Yeah.
To get paid $2,000 at the end of the month. And so it's like, obviously a lot of times, and the reason that I highlight that is because a lot of times the progress seems slow, but when you actually highlight it for what it is, you made $4,000 of work in fucking 45 hours. Do you know what I mean? It's like 1 week of work essentially, and not even a full week of work. And like we would normally slam out like fucking 40, 60, 80-hour weeks and just not even bat an eyelid, right? So that's fucking sick, bro, and you should be proud of yourself, because I know that you've been on this huge journey. What do you feel on the journey has actually been the biggest breakthrough for you, that when you look back at who you were at the gym when you were working at the gym, that you're the most proud of?
It's a good question. The number one thing for me has been stepping into the version of me that are at the goals that I want and actually doing it. Because you say it a lot on the calls, right? And it's like, yeah, you've said it, and I'll be honest with you, like I didn't take it on board to begin with, because I thought, let me just learn the sales skills, right? Objection handles, like reframes, but that's great. But until you actually start taking the actions of the version of you that is at the goal, and then you reverse engineer it that way, that for me has been the biggest breakthrough.
So I think living off a mindset of who you want to become will ultimately always bring you so much fucking further than living off who you are today, right? Because it always, and you never, the tricky part about it is as well, is that you're never going to know which action is the right one, but the point is that there isn't a right. It's just like fucking take it and find out. It's like if you roll a dice and you have a 1 in 6 chance of getting a 6, are you going to roll the dice, or are you going to look at it in your hand thinking, I wonder if I get a 6, right? There's only one option that ever brings somebody success. So here's a question for you. Might put you on the spot a bit though. Like, what is it that you had to let go of or overcome in your mind to fucking roll the dice and be like, I'm gonna get a fucking 6?
The biggest thing for me was giving a shit about what other people.
Yeah,
Massively. I've thought about it a lot recently, actually. I don't know where it stems from, genuinely. It's from childhood somewhere, right? I can't pinpoint it, but I know it's always been present. Not to say it disappears right overnight, like I'm not just fucking overcome this fear, but that for me was the biggest thing. Putting myself in situations where are uncomfortable, that I might not look great in certain situations, or caring about what other people think. That for me has been the biggest needle mover for.
How did you overcome out of interest? Because I imagine, like, I know I've definitely struggled with it, and a lot of people obviously watching it will have as well. Yeah, go on, I'll let you explain how you did it.
Honestly, for me, mate, it was the one-to-one call that we had. I don't know if you remember it. It was actually our shortest call, because I actually didn't do the work that you sent me the week before, so it ended up being a 10-minute call and you sent me away.
Yeah, I remember.
But the 10-minute conversation we had for me has been the most important conversation.
Really?
Yeah. And it was something that's stupid. Like, it sounds so stupid now when I say it, but I just had this fear about posting on socials and like what people thought and how I looked.
Fuck, I remember.
You made me post it, like literally made me post it on the call. that we had, and it was like fuck, like I don't know, it was weird, like I can't describe it. It was like this weight just was like,
yeah,
and that for me then was like I've just made it this massive thing in my head, and the minute I pressed send post, it was just like, why did I even think that, you know? And that for me, since then, I've understood that fear just lives in your own head. Like it's not even this thing that you can hold. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't even exist unless you allow it to.
Yeah, completely.
So yeah, for me, mate, that was the turning.
How important has the level of accountability been, not just from me, but like even me aside, from the other people that you've met, whether in Cape Town together, like Rohan, Henry, Julian, or the people that you've met inside of the program as well? How important has that been in you actually like making sure that the actions that your say-do ratio is fucking high?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as you know, right, we have our accountability calls every Friday. We're setting things in there each week to do. We need to make sure that we're proving that we're doing it. It's not just saying it, right? But the most important thing for me has been having people around that think the same way, that like have aligned thoughts, or on like this higher frequency of like, we're on this journey, we've all got our own paths, we've all got our own shit going on, right? But we all want to get to the same objective, and having that community and that people, when days are shit, like am I doing things working out, like you have people posting wins from the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, why am I having these thoughts when like I know it's fucking possible? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was like a fucking huge thing for me that ties back to that like fear of judgment, was understanding that one day I'm gonna fucking die. Like there's gonna be a day where we all fucking die.
Yeah.
And like when I was younger, I remember being 10 years old, sitting in my bed thinking, like so scared about what happened after death. And it's weird to think that so young, obviously, but as I get older, I begin to contemplate morality from a different perspective and more use it to fuel me. When I'm laying on the bed and I'm experiencing my last moments of my life, am I going to be thinking like, thank God I didn't post that Instagram post, or am I going to be thinking, fuck it, I wish I just went all in and stopped giving a fuck what people think, because they're either dead or they're not even going to remember me in a year anyway. You know what I mean? And then it's like, when you make decisions based off, if I died, would I be happy with me not doing? I feel like that's where that fear of judgment can quickly be evaporated. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree. And I haven't thought about things like that a lot until recently. I actually said it to a person on a call 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've said it to someone, and it made me think about my own situation in that way as well, like when I come off the call. And when you view things like that, it's like, why am I worrying about things that are just so, you know? And it puts it into perspective for you. It's like, in 60 years, do I actually really want to have the regrets that I didn't do these things?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, looking at things from that point of view has helped me a lot, especially recently. So.
Yeah, and it's super interesting, isn't it, when you actually like take decisions from an angle of like 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, like we already mentioned before. Because now, fast forward into where you are versus where you were a year ago, if that version of you met you today, what type of conversation would you have?
Jesus. First of all, like, how the fuck are you even here? Would be the first question that old version of me would ask. If I'm being like honest, I don't think like I wouldn't have believed that I'd be in this position. But also, at the same time, like, well done. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be proud. And I actually had a conversation with Rohan about this about a month ago on a role play that we had quite late one night, and it's like, the scary thing is this is actually just the start of where it can lead to, you know. And the change that we've had in just the last 3 months has been huge. So even a year down the line from now, when I have a conversation with who I am today, it's going to be a completely different conversation as well.
Yeah.
And that's mad to even think about going forward, to be honest.
What conversation will you have then? In a year's time, looking back at now?
It's a good conversation would I have. It'll be a conversation of me being proud of the position that I'm in, genuinely. I have a lot of goals in terms of like high ticket, but also outside of that, and the people that can be affected from what I'm doing as well. And I can see myself being in a position where I'm genuinely happy with who I am and the position that I've led myself in based on the hard work that I've put in across the next year.
Because the one thing that I'll always remember about you, lad, is when we jumped on that call when you were like, nah, I've had enough, Jack, I'm handing my notice at work, and I was like, oh damn, bro's turning up the heat a little bit. Like, you're getting like, you're cooking with it. What actually, I know we spoke about this a bit before earlier when we were fucking climbing up Table Mountain, but what actually drove you that day to just say, fuck it, enough is enough, I'm leaving my job, I'm going all in on this now, and I'm not leaving anything on the table?
For me, I was just having a shit day at work as well, which contributed to it. But it was just like, I remember just sitting there eating my lunch, bro, and I was just like, I actually sat there and I was like, what am I doing? I just remember having this thought to myself, like, what am I actually doing? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't enjoy it. I've invested a lot of time, energy, effort into getting into high ticket. What am I doing? And I remember I finished my lunch, I got up, I said to my sales manager, listen, I got on well with everyone, right? I just pulled him for a chat and I said, listen, man, I'm handing it. And within 10 minutes, like, I just made that decision.
Yeah.
And it just felt so normal to say that. Which was weird to me at the time, but it just made so much sense. Yeah.
No, sick, bro. Well, here's the question for you then, the final question. In a year's time, the Jake that you see, what position do you want him to be in when he watches this back in 1 year?
I definitely want to be deep into 5 figs in terms of monthly income from high ticket, like 20k a month for me is the goal. Outside of that is to pay off my mum's debt. That's a goal of semi-retire her so she's not working 5 days a week. Car would be nice, just like a Ferrari 458, right?
Sure.
We had this conversation this week about when I was a kid. I just saw it on Top Gear one day and I was like, whoa, that's my car.
Yeah.
That's nice, it's materialistic, but for me it's about affecting the people around, changing their lives for the better through what I've achieved here.
Yeah, love for that, bro. Come in, you little bastard. Oh, damn, the connection's heavy. Sick.